Can't say enough how excited I am that all of you guys are here. Whether it's to hear my story, whether it's to give CrossFit an opportunity, whether it's because you do have faith, whether you don't have faith and you are a CrossFitter. I might get a little emotional. It's real, all right? So I've stood up here and have coached hundreds of classes, and honestly, the anticipation up to this point for me has been tough. I'm a teacher by day. I've stood in front of classes a lot. So bear with me as I work through some of this stuff because I'm going to share my story. I'm a true life changed by Christ, and I want to share that with all of you guys here today. And hopefully you can take something from this, okay? Before I became a Christian, I relied a lot of my life on sports. I played college baseball. As I moved out of college baseball, I started CrossFitting, into working out, and a lot of my life was all about me. I really, cared about people, but a lot of my life revolved back to me, myself. I love tattoos. Those of you guys have seen me, and talked to me. I was all about tattoos. I wrote my tattoos up here on the board. This was my first tattoo that I got when I was 18 years old. And then in college, I got my number, all about me. Then I got CrossFit in 2009 because it was still all about me. I then started moving on, had a family, and I got a heart to represent, it has interweaved lines that represent strength for my family. I have 2 little kids and an amazing wife. I then got a cross. I don't know why I got the cross, just kind of got it on me. I thought, hey, I started going to church a little bit, started dabbling, and I was like, I don't know, I'm just gonna get a cross. Later, I go on and I get Philippians 4:13, and then I get my son's praying hands, and I'm not done yet. I'm gonna continue to get more stuff, and this kind of is my life. Interestingly, these tattoos have flipped in my life. This is the most important thing to me now, and truly it has changed my life. My shirt, it speaks it all. I bought this shirt 2 years ago. I put God first, family, and then CrossFit. My priorities were working out. CrossFit was my idol. I loved CrossFit. It was my all in all, gave me my strength, gave me everything I had. I found CrossFit, like I said, after playing baseball. I was a 5-time consecutive games athlete, regional athlete, and then boom, something happened. Overtraining, constant focus on myself, I broke my rib. I don't know how. From January up till March, training for the 2013 Open. I don't know. It was something meant to happen to me. I broke my rib. I couldn't raise my hand over my head. I kept asking. I was out for the 2013 season. I tried. I was going to try and do the first workout. Couldn't raise my hand over my head. So I started struggling with, why is this happening to me? I own a gym. I'm the role model to all my people at my gym. It's got to be about me. I got to go back to regional, and that's what I need to do. I need to be there for my people at Apex. I began hating to come to Apex. I didn't want anything to do with coaching. I felt no desire, didn't want to be here. That was in 2013. Maybe we found this in 2008. That's not me. That wasn't me at all. I was so ridiculously selfish. The leaderboard and stuff came up during the Open. All of our members in here are so excited. People doing this for the first time. Tanya and I arguing at home. I'm not even looking at the leaderboard. I could care less. All these different things that just, everything that my life was towards, I couldn't understand why this was happening to me. Prior to this point, we had been dabbling in church at LCBC. And probably a year before this happened was when I started going to church much more. I started hearing things about God. So I had nowhere to look but up in this situation, because this wasn't me coming in here and not enjoying motivating people. Because those of you guys that know me, that's me. That's everything about me. So I started a journal. I called it Conversation with Christ. I have no idea what that means. I literally, again, back to this, I'm being led in this direction of like, what's happening? So I create this journal, and I'm asking God, why is this happening to me? Who are you? So I'm going to read you my first entry that I wrote in my journal on 3/11/2013. It says this. And again, at this point, I'm just learning who God is, hearing some things, and not really sure what I'm getting, not sure what I'm doing. I'm not really sure who God is at this point. So I said, good evening, God. Thank you so much for helping me become the person that I've become. And some of these things I'm saying because it's things I've heard, right? I'm so happy to have had the opportunity to become introduced to you. I'm so grateful for my wife, Tanya, my brother-in-law, Corey, and my sister-in-law, Angie, for being the individuals that have really helped pave my path to you. I've decided to create a journal to speak my thoughts and be able to have a conversation with you on a daily basis, because I had nothing else to look up to, and I had nothing else at this point but to feel sorry for myself. I asked him to please help me with the struggles that I'm going through with my shoulder, as I'm going to try and lean heavily on prayer and conversation through my journal, and I pray that he'll help me understand the reason why I'm not competing this year in the 2013 regional, or in the Open. I asked him how I'm going to recover from this tough situation and how he's going to help me through this. Please continue to help me with your support through this time. Also, please help me to be the best dad that I can for my son, who AJ at this point was 2, and I started trying to realize that I needed to set a set of morals and values, which Tanya had helped me with greatly, and I'm so thankful for that. He was starting to test us with a lot of stuff, so I was just kind of like, hey, what's this raising kids about? I'm searching for answers, and I decided I never really had my own Bible. I listen to Word FM, and they basically on there, if you want a free Bible, you fill out an application. And I told them my story, and I wrote some of the stuff that I'd known at this point, and they sent me a Bible. My favorite scripture verse up to this point was, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. I just heard it. It sounds really cool. And I wanted to lean on this, because I know a lot of people had some scripture verses that they followed off of, and talking to people that knew the Bible. I loved it. Talking to my brother-in-law, Corey, I could ask him for any advice, and he could always lead me right back to something from God. And that's straight from the Bible. That's his words. I leaned on this verse. My only way to feel comfort through this time was talking to God and sharing my frustrations, because I was so angry still. I had so much anger coming into this place. Each night I looked forward to talking with God, and I began asking God to show me a path He has set for me. Finally, it all started coming together. I wrote almost every single day for 5 straight weeks through the entire Open. At the end of the 5th week, I had even written my philosophy of life to my parents on how my life was changing. I still remember it to this second, sitting in the office and just bawling my eyes out to Tanya as I'm talking to my parents about how my life has changed and where I am. Thanks, Dad, for coming. So, after those weeks, fast forward 4 months ahead, I decided that I wanted to get baptized. So I wrote my baptism right up. October 27th, 2013, I got baptized. If you would have known me years and years back, high school, college, you couldn't have ever put your finger on me getting baptized. I wasn't a bad kid. I did what everybody else did. I partied, I drank. But I would have never. Tanya asked me when we first got married if I'd ever get baptized. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. No way. So that date to me is what stands out in my life when I completely handed my life over to Christ, and I was going to follow everything that I learned and associate myself with as many people as I could to teach me more. So as I began training back again, working out. I was working out at the Indian Crest track, and I still couldn't do stuff overhead because of my shoulder. I was doing 400-meter walking lunges just around the track, over and over. On repeat, I had this song by Matthew West, Strong Enough. And basically the whole song says that you need God. And I prayed over and over and over again, please help me. I need you. I need you. I don't know why I'm going through this. So from that point, daily reminders for me from God that I use is music. Clayton and I work out at my house 2-3 times a week. The only music we play in the garage, mostly Christian music, because it puts me in the right mind and it's positive stuff. I play my phys ed classes at the high school, and it gives me encouragement to a whole nother level. I read my storybook Bible, my son's storybook Bible. It might actually be mine. I may learn a heck of a lot more than he has about God and stories. It's amazing. I go to church every Sunday, and I won't miss church, for the world. And the stories that I hear there, I'm learning them all from the storybook Bible. Those of you guys that don't know much, it's okay. Get yourself a storybook Bible. Those of you guys that have kids that have read storybook Bibles, they're 1 page long. There's pictures. Other reminders I use, I have things written in my garage, random places. Clayton may not even know this. Above the door in the garage, maybe he does. I have just thanks be to God. I got a cross above the door. Every time I walk out that door, I want to be reminded. I have something written over on a piece of 2x4 that says, keep your eyes on me, Jesus. Because we can get so wrapped up in everything around us, and I want my focus on him. Jesus came to earth and died for us, and he was perfect. Everything he did was perfect. And I want to mimic everything that he does. We're all going to make mistakes, but that's a reminder for me that helps me to keep my mind in that right place. I download devotionals on my phone. And another easy thing. I have a Bible on my kitchen table. And the Bible that's on the kitchen table, every morning I make breakfast. I try to do the best I can. Life gets in the way sometimes. And I can't get to the Bible, but the Bible sits there as a reminder to me, open me. And read me. So, funny thing is, I took my Bible October 5th, preparing for this. God, lead me into what you want me to talk about. And as I'm standing up here talking to you right now, a lot of God is talking through me. He's helping me to have the comfort and the strength to stand up here and share with you guys that may not know. So I open my Bible on October 5th, and I sit there, and I basically ask, I close my eyes, I scroll through it, I'm like, God, give me some encouraging words for today. I open it. What verses stare me square in the eyes? Philippians 4:13. And I am not even kidding about that. When you talk about things in life being ironic, it ain't ironic. It's a plan that was made for your life. People that you meet, you guys being here tonight and hearing this story, that's what it's about. So I see this verse, and in the New Living Translation Bibles, they have note sections for us people that are learning and don't really know a lot about God, so they give different notes things. At the bottom of it, it's a note section that says, place Christ before all else. And I'm like, man, if that just doesn't, again, God comes before everything. He was perfect. He's our role model. He's everything that we want to be and that we need to be. And I thank him so much for that. As I continue to talk to God each day about why am I so blessed? Why have we been given Apex? Why are you guys sitting here and doing this? So I've been reading this book called 3D Coach. It talks about three-dimensional athletes, or coaching people in the three-dimensional area. First dimension is physical preparedness. You teach people how to train. Run faster, you're going to get stronger. Second dimension is about the mind. You connect the mind to the physical. Why am I telling you this? Because my plan has grown more and more clear in the relationship, and I'm blessed with Apex, not for me. This is 100% to help other people. We struggle through things in here to pay rent, and we pray about it. And you know what? God comes through in amazing ways. It depends on what your faith is. How much faith do you have? CrossFit, when we got into CrossFit, I've always been, people that know me, I'm a compassionate person. I was selfish. You may not have picked that up, or you may have picked that up, and I'm sorry. But we did do the two dimensions where we cared about people's hearts, what they brought in here, struggles. Every one of you right now has your own story just like I do. And don't fool yourself. You do. And you know what? The answer to that is to use God. Talk to Him. So after getting baptized, it changed for me. This third dimension, I realized, holy cow, I am a third dimensional athlete, or third dimensional coach. The third dimension is coaching spirit. So I now can introduce people, because of where I am with my relationship with God, that I can introduce other people. Sometimes, some of you guys that I've talked to in here, it might be extremely indirect. You're like, wow, that guy's a really nice guy. And now you hear my story now, and you realize all my strength comes from Christ Himself. So then, I now have the spirit, the body, and the mind all connected. And let's be real, that's what this is all about. We're all in here because we all need to be built up. We're all broken, and we can lean on each other. And that's my true plan of what God has given us for Apex. And all along, here I'm thinking, running around as we're doing Apex, man, look at all this stuff. We got all these awesome things. It's not at all about me. This is 100% about God and being able to share Him with each one of you guys. For those of you guys that know me, I'm a very passionate, enthusiastic individual. I love what I do, and whatever it is that I'm given, I'm 100% in that. When I taught at the high school on a back-to-school night, I'm talking all about physical fitness. A pastor from LCBC told Tanya or one of my family members, hey man, if that dude has passion for Christ at some point in his life, with as much as he loves working out, look out. And you know what? I have that passion for Christ now. And I am going to share that with every single person. And I don't mean to ever offend anybody, because we're all in this walk, wherever you are. So, prior to my change, and my passion used to be driven towards sports, partying, hanging out with friends. Since giving my life to Christ, I still have my passion and enthusiasm full force. However, now it's 100% guided through Christ towards things such as helping others and sharing my faith openly. And honestly, those of you guys that knew me before, my life has been changed. I don't all talk about what I talk about now. I talk about God openly a lot to a lot of people. And I feel like the platform that He has given me is to be able to talk to people about it. It's okay. People are going to think I'm this crazy dude that talks about God. But you know what? It's changed my life forever. And everybody needs it. So here we're gathered tonight at Faith RX as I stand up here talking to you. And again, if you would have asked me 5 years ago if I'm standing up here and not teaching movements and talking to you about God, I would have thought you'd be absolutely crazy. But here I am talking about God to you guys and how my life has changed. I want to leave you with this. What is your passion? What do you love to do? How could God be shaping your life's plan right now? What is God's plan for you? Maybe you should just ask Him, like I did. God is at the door right now, and He's just waiting for you to open up the door. That's as easy as it is. Thanks again so much for coming up tonight and listening to my story. I hope you can take something from that. Thank you.